Blessed to me. Everybody looks good in the first round. When the lights are bright, the crowd is cheering and the adrenaline's rushing. Everybody's got energy. Everybody's got confidence. But that doesn't make you a champion. Champions aren't made in the first round. They're made in the last one. The round when you're tired. The round when you're in pain. The round when nobody's clapping for you. The round when it's just you, your heart, and your will. It's easy to fight when you're fresh. It's easy to fight when you're winning. But what happens when life punches back? What happens when you get hit and can't catch your breath? What happens when you're bleeding, when you're dizzy, when you've given everything you've got and there's still more to go? That's when it matters. That's when champions are born. The last round isn't about skill. It's about spirit. It's about how bad you want it. It's about whether you're willing to suffer longer, dig deeper, and fight harder than the person across from you. Talent gets tired. Strength fades. But heart doesn't quit. Heart doesn't clock out. Heart doesn't back down just because it hurts. The reason most people never win is because they check out before the final bell. They start strong, but they don't finish. They get excited when it's easy. But when the struggle hits, they fold. They throw in the towel before the fight's over. But listen, the last round decides everything. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. The beginning might look impressive, but the ending defines legacy. When you're in that last round, life will test every ounce of your strength. You'll be exhausted. You'll feel like you've got nothing left. That's when your excuses show up. That little voice that says, you've done enough. You can stop now. You're too tired. But if you can silence that voice, if you can push one more time, swing one more punch, take one more step, that's when the miracle happens. That's when you find out what you're really made of. It's easy to be motivated when you're comfortable. But the last round strips you bare. It exposes your truth. No hype, no energy, no support, just you. That's the moment that separates winners from almosts. That's when you prove to yourself that you don't just have potential, you have power. You've got to learn how to fight tired. You've got to learn how to fight hurt. You've got to learn how to fight in silence. Because not every battle comes with a crowd. Some rounds you fight alone. Some rounds nobody believes in you but you. And that's okay, because champions are built in private before they're celebrated in public. When you get to that breaking point, when your body says, I can't, you've got to let your mind take over and say, watch me. Because you've got more left in the tank than you think. You've got another level. You've got another gear. You've just got to be willing to go there. Don't stop swinging just because it's hard. Don't stop fighting just because you're tired. Pain is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. The last round is the test that determines if all your work meant something. That's where you prove whether your discipline was real or just for show. That's where you decide if your dream was worth the fight. Don't you dare quit in the last round. You've come too far, sacrificed too much, and endured too long to walk away empty-handed. So when you're on your knees, gasping for breath, and everything in you screams, it's over, you look that pain in the face and say, not yet. You get back up, wipe the blood from your mouth, and swing again. Because champions don't lose when they get hit. They lose when they stop hitting back. Remember this, everybody looks good in the first round. But the last round, that's where you earn respect. That's where you earn legacy. That's where you become who you were meant to be. The last round decides everything. So don't stop swinging. Fight through fatigue. That's where the difference is made. Anyone can go hard when they're fresh, when they've got energy, when everything feels light. But when your legs feel like they're made of concrete, when your lungs are burning, when your mind is screaming to stop, that's when the real battle begins. Fatigue doesn't just test your body, it tests your will. It asks, do you really want this? Or were you only here for the feeling? Because when the feeling fades, that's when your character steps in. Most people quit when they're tired, not when they're finished. They confuse exhaustion with the end. But just because you're tired doesn't mean you're done. Just because it hurts doesn't mean you've hit your limit. Fatigue is not the enemy, it's the threshold. It's the point where average people stop and champions keep going. You have to push past that line where comfort ends and growth begins. Because everything you want, the dream, the breakthrough, the transformation, it all lives on the other side of tired. You've got to stop waiting for energy and start moving with intention. The truth is, you won't always feel strong. You won't always feel ready. But you don't need to feel ready to fight. You just need to decide that you're not quitting here. Fatigue will whisper lies to you. It'll tell you that you've done enough, that you can stop now, that nobody would blame you for walking away. But champions don't listen to fatigue. They listen to purpose. They know that every step after exhaustion counts double. Every rep after pain builds more than muscle. It builds mindset. When you're tired, your emotions will try to take control. You'll start to doubt yourself. You'll start to question your worth. That's when you need to remind yourself why you started. The pain you feel now is temporary, but the pride of finishing will last forever. Every drop of sweat, every ounce of effort, every moment you resist the urge to quit is building your legacy. When your body says, I can't, your spirit has to say, watch me. You see, fatigue is a filter. It separates the committed from the convenient. It exposes who's really in it for the long haul. Because the truth is, everybody can start strong, but only the discipline can finish. Fatigue doesn't care about talent. It doesn't care how fast you started or how good you looked in the beginning. It only cares about one thing. Will you keep fighting when there's nothing left to give? Will you keep swinging when every part of you screams to stop? The mind quits before the body does. That's why when you feel like you've hit your limit, you've usually still got more to give. Fatigue tricks you into believing you're done. But if you push just a little further, if you take one more step, one more breath, one more swing, you'll find strength you didn't know you had. That's how champions are made. They don't rely on energy, they rely on endurance. They've trained themselves to keep going when everyone else would have stopped. It's not supposed to be easy. Growth isn't comfortable. The best things in life cost pain, effort, and persistence. Fatigue is the price of progress. It's the sign that you're stretching beyond your limits. You can't become stronger without struggle. You can't build endurance without exhaustion. You can't reach the next level without fighting through the fatigue of the one you're in. Every time you conquer that feeling of, I can't, you redefine what you're capable of. There's power in persistence. Every extra second you fight when you're tired sends a message to your future. I won't break. Every time you choose to keep going, you're building a version of yourself that's tougher, sharper, and unstoppable. The body might feel weak, but the mind grows stronger. The spirit gets louder. That's the kind of strength fatigue can't defeat. So when you hit that wall, don't back down, break through it. Remind yourself that tired is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. You didn't come this far to stop because it hurts. You came this far to prove that pain can't control you. Keep pushing, keep swinging, keep moving, even if all you can do is crawl, because that's what fighters do. They keep showing up. They don't wait for the feeling to return. They create momentum through action. When it's over, when the fight is done and the lights go out, you won't remember the exhaustion. You'll remember the victory. You'll remember the moment you chose to fight through fatigue instead of folding under it. That's the moment that defines you. That's the moment that separates winners from the rest. Fatigue is not your finish line. It's your invitation to rise. And if you answer that call, if you push one more time when you have nothing left, that's when everything changes. Because that's where champions are made, not in comfort, not in confidence, but in the fire of fatigue. Silence the inner quitter, that voice inside your head. You know the one. It shows up the moment things get hard. It tells you you've done enough. It whispers, you can stop now. It tries to convince you that quitting is logical, that you're just being realistic, that you're protecting yourself. But the truth is, that voice isn't trying to save you, it's trying to sabotage you. It's the sound of fear wearing reason's mask. Every single person who ever became great had to face that voice. And the only difference between them and everyone else is that they didn't listen. The inner quitter is the enemy that lives inside all of us. It feeds on doubt. It thrives on fatigue. It gets louder when your body starts to hurt, when your dreams start to demand more than your comfort can handle. It's sneaky because it doesn't always sound negative. Sometimes it sounds smart. It'll say things like, you need to rest, or you've already worked harder than most people. But that voice isn't interested in your growth. It's interested in your safety. And you don't grow in safety, you grow in struggle. Every time you silence that voice, you take back control of your life. Because that inner quitter wants to run your show. It wants to make the decisions for you. It wants to decide when you give up, how far you go and how much you settle for. But the second you tell that voice, no, not today, you reclaim your power. You remind yourself that you are not a victim of your emotions. You are the master of them. Most people lose the battle in their mind long before they lose in reality. They talk themselves out of the fight before they even step into the ring. They convince themselves they're tired, that they can't, that it's too late, that they're not good enough. The inner quitter doesn't destroy your body. It destroys your belief. And once your belief is gone, it doesn't matter how much strength you have left. You're already defeated. That's why you have to guard your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. You have to learn how to talk back to that inner quitter. When it says, you can't, you say, watch me. When it says, you're not enough, you say, I've got more in me. When it says, give up, you say, I'm just getting started. You don't negotiate with that voice. You dominate it. You replace doubt with discipline. You replace excuses with execution. Because the moment you start entertaining that quitter's voice, it takes root. It grows. And before you know it, it's not just a whisper, it's a habit. Think about how many people have walked away from greatness because they listened to that voice. How many dreams were buried not because they were impossible, but because someone gave up too early. The inner quitter kills more dreams than failure ever will. Failure is just feedback. It teaches you. But quitting guarantees you never find out how far you could have gone. You never know what was waiting just one step beyond the moment you gave up. You've got to train your mind to fight for you, not against you. Every time you push through the urge to quit, you strengthen your mental armor. Every time you refuse to give in to that whisper, you build resilience. That's how you develop toughness, not by avoiding the struggle, but by winning the war inside your head. Because once you conquer that inner quitter, the outer battles become easy. This fight isn't about motivation. Motivation fades. It's about conviction. It's about deciding that you will not let weakness dictate your destiny. It's about realizing that the inner quitter only has as much power as you give it. When you ignore it, it loses strength. When you override it with action, it goes silent. The louder your discipline gets, the quieter that voice becomes. So the next time that voice starts to whisper, take it as a signal, not to stop, but to go harder. Because that voice only shows up when you're getting close to your limit, and your limit is the doorway to greatness. That's why it fights so hard to hold you back. It knows what happens if you push past it. You evolve, you transform, you become the version of yourself that fear can no longer control. Understand this, you can't stop the inner quitter from speaking, but you can stop it from winning. You can drown it out with your grind. You can bury it under consistency. You can silence it with action. Every step you take forward, every time you show up tired, every time you keep swinging when you want to stop, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. The inner quitter is loud, but it's not powerful. Not unless you let it be. The real power is in your persistence, your courage, your refusal to back down. You've got to choose whose voice you listen to, the one that fears pain or the one that seeks purpose. Because only one of them will lead you to victory. Silence the inner quitter and you'll hear the sound of your destiny calling. And when that call comes, you answer it. Not with words, but with work. Pain reveals purpose. Most people spend their lives running from pain, avoiding discomfort, and chasing comfort like it's the ultimate goal. But what if I told you pain isn't the punishment, it's the teacher? What if the very thing you've been trying to escape is the key that unlocks your purpose? Every great person you've ever admired has walked through pain, not around it, through it. Because pain has a way of showing you who you really are and what you're really made for. When life hurts, that's not a sign that you're off track. Sometimes it's proof you're on the right one. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Diamonds aren't formed in soft conditions. They're formed under pressure. Gold isn't refined in a cool breeze. It's purified in fire. So if you're going through something painful right now, don't you dare think it's meaningless. There's a purpose behind the pressure. Every struggle you face is shaping you for something greater, something you might not see yet. But one day you'll look back and realize, that's why I had to go through that. Pain strips away the surface. It removes the fake. When everything's easy, you don't really know what you believe in. You don't know what you're capable of. But when you hurt, when you've been betrayed, when you've failed, when you've cried until you had nothing left, that's when you meet your true self. Pain introduces you to the version of you that doesn't quit. It introduces you to the fighter, the survivor, the believer that lives underneath all the fear. You see, pain forces you to focus. It makes you pay attention. When everything's comfortable, you start to get lazy, distracted, entitled. But when life hits you, you start asking questions. Why am I here? What am I fighting for? What matters to me? Pain brings clarity. It realigns your priorities. It pulls you out of the noise and pushes you toward purpose. It's not there to destroy you. It's there to develop you. But here's the problem. Most people waste their pain. They complain through it. They try to numb it, escape it, or pretend it's not there. But every time you run from pain, you run from your potential, because pain is a signal. It's trying to wake you up. It's trying to say, there's more in you. If you learn to lean into it, if you can stand in the fire long enough, it'll transform you. You'll come out stronger, wiser, and more focused than ever before. When you stop avoiding pain and start embracing it, something powerful happens. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being a student of experience. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? You realize that every painful moment carries a lesson about endurance, about gratitude, about who's real and who's not. Pain refines your perspective. It gives you appreciation for peace because you've tasted struggle. It gives you empathy for others because you know what it's like to hurt. The truth is, purpose and pain are twins. You can't have one without the other. Your purpose will always demand that you endure something. It will require sacrifice. It will ask you to keep believing when nobody else does, to keep showing up when you're broken, to keep pushing when the world says stop. And it's in those moments of pain that your purpose begins to reveal itself, because only in the fire do you discover what truly matters. Every scar you carry has a story, and every story has strength. The pain you feel today is preparing you for the people you're meant to help tomorrow. Somebody's going to need your story. Somebody's going to need your scars. Somebody's going to be encouraged because you didn't quit when it hurt. That's the beauty of pain. It connects us. It gives our struggle meaning because it allows us to give hope to others. Pain is not your enemy. It's your coach. It's pushing you, not punishing you. It's stretching you, not breaking you. Every time you survive something that was supposed to destroy you, you gain authority over it. You become proof that pain doesn't win unless you let it. The pain you endure becomes your testimony, your weapon, your reminder that you can overcome anything. So the next time it hurts, don't run, don't hide, don't complain. Sit with it, learn from it, let it build you. Because pain is temporary, but the lessons it leaves behind last forever. When you understand that pain has a purpose, you stop seeing it as an obstacle and start seeing it as a gift. You stop asking for an easier life and start asking for stronger shoulders. Everything you've been through, every heartbreak, every loss, every failure, it wasn't random. It was refining you for what's next. Your pain was never wasted. It was preparing you to walk in your purpose with power. So stop cursing the pain and start thanking it. Because one day you'll realize that the fire that tried to burn you only forged your strength. Pain doesn't define you, it reveals you. And when you let it, it leads you straight to your purpose. Finish strong. That's what separates the good from the great, the average from the elite, the talkers from the doers. Everybody can start something, a dream, a goal, a plan. But very few have the discipline and heart to see it through. The beginning is exciting. It's easy to be motivated when it's new, when people are watching, when everything feels possible. But finishing, that takes grit. That takes mental toughness. That takes a level of focus and faith that refuses to die, no matter how long the journey gets. Finishing strong isn't about how much you have left in the tank. It's about how bad you want it when the tank runs dry. It's about how you respond when the energy fades, when the applause stops, when nobody's there to hype you up. That's when the real work begins. The finish line doesn't reward the talented, it rewards the consistent. It doesn't care about how fast you started. It only remembers who crossed it. And the truth is, a lot of people never cross because they let comfort convince them that almost is good enough. But almost doesn't change your life. Almost doesn't fulfill your purpose. Almost doesn't inspire anyone. Finishing does. The difference between winners and everyone else is simple. Winners finish. They may crawl, they may limp, they may bleed, but they finish. Because they understand that the world doesn't remember who started the race. It remembers who finished it. You can't call yourself committed if you only show up when it's easy. You can't call yourself disciplined if you stop when it gets hard. Finishing strong means you show up with the same energy at the end as you did at the start, even if nobody's clapping. It means you don't let fatigue, frustration, or fear make the final decision. You make the decision to keep going no matter what it costs. Because the finish line is where everything makes sense. It's where the struggle turns into strength, where the pain turns into pride, where all the nights you almost quit turn into proof that you were built for this. Think about how many people start something with excitement, the gym, the business, the dream, and then fade out when progress slows. They get distracted, discouraged, or disappointed, and they convince themselves it's not working. But you've got to understand the middle is messy. It's supposed to be hard. The struggle doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're being tested. Finishing strong is about holding on when the fire burns hottest, about believing when nothing around you looks like it's working. Because the closer you get to your breakthrough, the harder it gets. Not because you're weak, but because you're almost there. Finishing strong is a mindset. It's a decision you make long before the battle begins. You tell yourself, no matter how tough this gets, I will not stop until it's done. It's not about feelings, it's about commitment. Because feelings are fickle, they come and go. But commitment endures. When you commit to finishing strong, you take quitting off the table. You erase the exit signs. You burn the backup plan. You make the decision that failure isn't final unless you stop trying. When you finish strong, you earn something far greater than success. You earn self-respect. You earn the right to look in the mirror and know you gave it everything. That's something no one can take from you. Finishing strong builds a kind of confidence that can't be faked because it's forged through pain, through exhaustion, through perseverance. It's the confidence that says, I've been through worse and I didn't quit. And here's the truth. The way you finish one thing is the way you'll finish everything. If you quit in one area, it becomes easier to quit in others. But when you make finishing strong your standard, you raise the bar for every part of your life. You start to demand more of yourself, not because it's easy, but because you know what's at stake. You know that your future is waiting on the other side of your endurance. Don't cheat yourself by giving up early. Don't rob your future because your present feels uncomfortable. The pain of discipline will always be lighter than the pain of regret. You're going to get tired. That's inevitable. But tired doesn't mean done. You're going to fail sometimes. That's part of the process. But failure doesn't mean finished. What matters is that you keep showing up, keep swinging, keep pushing until the end. Because when you cross that line, when you finally finish strong, everything you went through suddenly makes sense. The tears, the sacrifice, the grind, it all becomes worth it. So whatever you're facing right now, don't slow down. Don't lose heart. Don't settle for almost. Dig deeper. Find that last bit of fight inside you. Remember why you started. Remember who's watching you. The people who need your example. The ones who need to see what finishing looks like. Your story isn't about how easy it was. It's about how you refused to quit when it wasn't. Because in the end, the only thing that matters is this. You finished strong. You didn't let pain win. You didn't let fear win. You didn't let fatigue win. You fought until the end. And that right there is what champions do. When it's all said and done, the question isn't how you started, how talented you were, or how many people believed in you. The question is, did you finish the fight? Did you stand your ground when it got hard? Did you give your best when nobody was watching? Because that's what this life comes down to. The last round, the final stretch, the moment when every excuse sounds reasonable and every muscle in your body is screaming to quit. That's where greatness is born. Not in the cheers, not in the highlights, but in the silence of struggle. You see, champions are not remembered for their beginnings. They're remembered for how they ended. Everybody loves the first chapter, the excitement, the energy, the promise of potential. But what defines you is the last page. The part of the story where the hero is broken, bruised, and still refuses to bow. That's the moment when you prove that your heart is bigger than your hardship. That's the moment when destiny takes notice. You've got to understand, life will not hand you victory. It's not going to let you stroll into success. You've got to fight for it, bleed for it, cry for it, and sometimes crawl toward it. There will be nights when your faith feels weak, when your dreams feel distant, when you wonder if any of it is worth it. But those are the exact moments that determine everything, because pain is the door to purpose. Pressure is the price of progress. The last round is not there to destroy you, it's there to reveal you. When you're at that breaking point, when you've given everything you have and it still doesn't feel like enough, that's not your signal to stop. That's your signal to dig deeper. You've got to learn how to fight tired. You've got to learn how to keep moving when your legs don't want to move. Because the truth is, there's more in you. You've only scratched the surface of your strength. You think you've reached your limit, but your limit is just your mind's lie. You've got another level inside you, and the last round is where you find it. The reason most people never see the fullness of their potential is because they quit too soon. They let the pain convince them that the promise was fake. They let exhaustion rewrite their story. But you can't let that happen. You've come too far to only come this far. You've endured too much to stop now. You've got to finish what you started. You've got to make the pain pay off. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every tear you shed, it all has to mean something. And when you finally push past that point, when you decide that you're not going to let anything break you, that's when everything changes. That's when life opens up and says, you've earned it, because success doesn't respond to talent, it responds to toughness. The world doesn't move for those who start strong. It moves for those who refuse to quit. So if you're tired, keep going. If you're hurting, keep swinging. If you're scared, keep believing. Don't stop because it's hard. That's exactly why you started. Every champion you've ever admired had a last round, a final test, a moment where they could have walked away. But they didn't. They stood up, wiped the blood off their face, and said, not yet. I'm not done. And that's what you have to do. That's what defines you. Because when the lights go out and the noise fades, when there's nobody left to applaud, you're going to be left alone with the truth. Did you give it everything? Did you fight with your whole heart? Did you leave it all in the ring? If you can say yes, if you can honestly say you didn't hold back, you didn't surrender, you didn't quit, then you've already won. Finishing strong isn't just about crossing the line. It's about who you become in the process. It's about the resilience you build, the strength you discover, the belief that can't be shaken. It's about proving to yourself that no matter what life throws at you, you can take it and keep standing. That's what the last round is about, proving that you can't be broken. So don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for applause. Don't wait for motivation. Just keep showing up, keep swinging, keep pushing, because the last round decides everything. And you're not done until you finish strong. When that final bell rings, let them say you fought with everything you had. Let them say you didn't quit. Let them say you gave it all. Because that's what champions do. They fight to the end, no matter how tired, no matter how tough, no matter how long. Finish strong and let the world remember your fight.